finally, after 5 years, Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse has finally arrived, and it's amazing. And we can't talk about an amazing movie without spoilers. So here's a good warning. I'm gonna talk about the plot and some things about the movie that you might not want to know if you haven't watched this movie. And I suggest for you to click out if you haven't seen it, because go watch it. This is worth your while. It is an amazing 5-year wait. They developed something amazing. Please go watch it, and you've been warned. So let's start about the things I did not like about this movie, because there is so little that I might as well just get out of the way. The one main thing I do not like about this movie, and it's pretty much everyone, is it leaves in a cliffhanger, and it's just half the story of was the bigger story. Because originally, if I remember correctly, when the titles came out, it was gonna be Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and then Part 2. Well, now it's gonna be Beyond the Spider-Verse. So now it's still the same concept. They're gonna be continuing the story Across the Spider-Verse in Beyond the Spider-Verse. And that's the one thing, the main thing I hate. Another thing that I'm not like about this film was that Penny Parker, Spider-Man Noir, and Peter Parker, I think that's his name, they're not in this movie. Well, Penny Parker is for a little bit, but they're not in the movie like they were in the last movie. In the last movie, we learned a good amount about them. We follow them throughout like the second half of the movie, and they're friends of Miles. And the only ones that came back was Gwen Stacy and Peter B. Parker, which they were the main characters in the first movie, which makes sense why they were there more in this movie. And I do understand why the other characters were not here, but I feel a little disappointed they're not in the movie. But we'll see. We'll probably see them more in the next Spider-Man movie. That's really all that I didn't like about this movie, because I love everything about it really. And a good transition to it is the characters they introduced this movie that I really liked, like Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099. He is such a great character. He's a great antagonist to Miles. I do like that Miguel is a polar opposite to Spot. They're both the antagonists, but it's just Miguel, he has more reason. He has more of a like selfless cause on why he wants to stop Miles. Unlike the Spot, he has more of a selfish manner to stop Miles. I'll go back to the Spot, but let's talk about the other Spider-Man, like Spider-Man India. Like, he's just a lower character. Like, there's plain simple, you cannot hate him. He's fun, he's entertaining. Like, it's hard to mess up a character like this. Another character that I want to talk about is Spider-Punk, aka Hobie. Hobie is such a mentor to Miles in this movie, because he just tries to help Miles any way he can, suggesting that he should use his palms instead of his fingertips like he's been using with Spider Venom, whatever power, Venom Punch, whatever it's called, and just gain stuff when he was walking around. We're gonna meet Miguel, just gain text stuff all around, and that's how he builds a watch that he was gonna give to Miles, but instead gives to Gwen so Gwen can help Miles, and him joining Gwen on that journey. And it's just, he's a great character. He's just a nonchalant character that I do what I want. Like, he's such a good character. Like, all these characters are lovable. And the last new character that I want to talk about that was introduced in this movie was, in the end, Miles Morales from Earth 42. And he is so badass. I don't know, just his intimidation. Like, he looks so intimidating, and like he has the feeling of the Prowler, like just menacingly. And I'm excited to see how he's gonna play out and what he's gonna do, or like what's gonna happen, what's gonna do with the character in the next movie. And we're gonna see it in the next movie, and I want that movie right now. It's just recording this video and I just talking about this, like, it's just so amazing. I just want to see it right now. Oh my god. I also want to find out about things they're gonna have Across Spider-Verse effect Beyond the Spider-Verse, because a lot of stuff into the Spider-Verse, the first movie, there's a lot of little details that you see back on and see Across the Spider-Verse and see, and they show you like, this makes sense. Like, the Spot Man, like, if you go back and see, like, he was actually the guy that was hit by the bagel. And nobody expected that. Like, the most random thing. But to be honest, if you go back in it, it's still not obvious, but they made it like not so clear that they could enter that narrative. And also the spider. a lot of people even theorized before the movie came out that it was from another Earth. It was not from Miles because of the glitching effect, and that only happened when you're not in your own universe. It is how much attention to detail they give all these movies. Like the first one, especially it shows in the first one when Miles first met Peter from his universe. They show him like having the little spider thingy middle like sense out. It showed the Prowler colors, and it changes to the Spider-Man colors, showing that his destiny has changed. And then we see in the end of this movie, Across the Spiderverse, that the Prowler, the Miles Prowler that was supposed to be him, became the Earth 42 because the Spider from Earth 42 went to his universe and they switched destinies. And that's how Miles became an anomaly, because he shouldn't have been the Spider-Man. He should have been a Prowler Miles, and Earth 42 Miles should have been a Spider-Man. And that's a big conflict of this movie, that Miles is an anomaly and he shouldn't have been there. That's why Miguel hates his guts and doesn't want him in a Spider Society, because he's the trouble. Even in the movie, something he's trying to do a good deed, trying to save the Captain Stacy of Spider-Man Indians world. He saved them, but he shouldn't have, because that's a canon event that needed to happen for Spider-Man India to develop as a Spider-Man. And that's where there's a big hole, a big black hole in his world, because an anomaly happened, and then that's what it's trying to do. Miguel is basically like Kang in Loki. He's trying to keep like sacred timelines throughout all the multiverse, and just have no splits, have one thing go a certain way, and if a canon event doesn't happen, it is a big problem, because it could just literally destroy the multiverse altogether. I like this plot line because it will be able to connect more into MCU right now, because the MCU right now, basically they're in their arc of the multiverse, like with Kang and like with different timelines. Like, it is a great way to connect across the Spider-Verse, the Sony Spider-Verse universe they've created with Miles and the MCU. And in the future, we might have a live action Miles Morales, which I'm very, very looking forward to, because in the beginning, when Miles was first came out, I went to a library and I saw his comics and the Ultimate Spider-Man. I think it's this Ultimate Spider-Man universe after Miles, after Peter died, and then Miles takes over, and that's his first appearance. I read those comics and I liked them very much, and that's why when Into the Spider-Verse came out, I wanted to see a lot, because Miles was such a great character that I liked and I wanted to see more of. And I am glad that he's so big now with Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and now he might have a chance to be in the MCU. I just love that. I'm so glad to see him come this far. Well, as I also say, so I'm end the video here and I'm gonna give my score. And there's a lot of people been complaining like, oh, why are you rating? Because people have been rating this movie like 10 out of 10. Like, you can't rate a movie on 10 out of 10 because it's half finished. Okay, I'll give it a 5 out of 10 and I'll give it a 10 out of 10 after Beyond the Spider-Verse comes. Okay, so right now it's a 5 out of 10, but soon it'll be a 10 out of 10. And it's all, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.